inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts, but something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I
want. So, you know, he won't get me because I already know he's coming. But he was a smarter business person than I was at the time. And so for me, when I realized I had to own every single penny, I owned 6.1 million. I owned it. And so I'm a person that people talk about your big boy shorts, whatever, your big shoulders. When you own it, you have to pack up your little toys, put them back in the playpen, stand up straight, and walk down the street like a grown-up.
And if I come at you with your personal life a little bit, I don't know much about it.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Are you married or not married, James?
No.
Okay, so let me ask, you know, there's a guy that talks to women, and he talks about whether or not they're valuable to men. I'm not going to mention his name. And he talks about their weight, he talks about their body size, he talks about their education and their experience. And I don't really know if I believe everything that he says, but it's interesting to hear a man give a perspective on a woman when he's only met her over the phone or on a Zoom call or something. So you're obviously an ambitious person who's successful. And, you know, I'm married, so I'm not asking for my own personal benefit. What would you look for in a partner? And I don't even know if you have a partner, but what would you look for in a partner? Because I heard one successful man said, what I look for is a woman who doesn't need me to do anything for her. She's complete without me.
Well, that's a strong statement. I think that a lot of men make, unfortunately, they make it from an uneducated conversation. Someone who knows who they are. That's it.
All right, well, let's go into that statement a little bit more. What does that mean?
Yeah. That means someone who is complete without another person, because this other half statement is the most unbelievable, ignorant statement someone can make. Also, someone who's a strong, again, another incorrect word, because neat in a what way? That person, again, when I say that person, that can be is independent, but not independent where I don't, not the Beyonce independent, the ridiculousness that she keeps. That's not correct independence. Independence is that the faith-wise for me, you were created at that point, if you're with a partner, to be their help meet, not help mate. So at that point, someone who, if something happens to them, I got you. So this whole thing about, I'm not a 50-50 person, so to speak, as this conversation goes on with Miss Union and her spouse. It's all me, and then what you do, what you make, what you do with yours, put it in the bank, throw it out the window, whatever you want to do with it. That's just, I'm old-fashioned, I guess, in that way. So more so for me, it's more so of a person realizing I can't take your power, but be my best friend. Best friend meaning that I can come home and take my cape off and not be judged. I'm a person, don't judge me, because I'm a person that was raised a certain way, and I made sure my son did not get that from me. I explained him properly, but I was raised men don't cry, so I don't cry. I was raised men don't hurt, so I don't hurt. And so those things, I think, that understand who I am, you have to be hurting somewhere. You have to be human. I've had that statement before, and I have to correct and remove this person from my space. You don't need to even for a psychologist or a psychiatrist, figure out, Oh, you have to have them. No, I don't. So
I think we should have a session on that one night about what successful men are drawn to in a woman. I think that would be a really good topic. What do you think about that, Dr. Lee?
I think it's great. I think it's great.
yeah, I think the one thing that people are really, again, this confidence is, again,
I
know who
think
I
it's
say know who
great.
they are. The confidence is really what that's just it covers a lot of area, but being knowing who you are is super important to who you are. Super important to who you are. If you know who you are, then everybody's in trouble.
Well,
Because I'm
thank you
not
for opening up to us.
yes.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm still looking for our other guest. I saw her for a quick minute and now she's gone again. I don't know what I pushed or didn't push.
It says at the top, Dr. Lee, that she left.
It does.
It could just mean that she lost
Signal.
So
the
anyway,
signal.
this is so interesting. I'm really, really enjoying this coaching session. Thoroughly enjoying this coaching session.
Well, I'm curious still when you say that a woman needs to know who she is. I don't know. It seems very vague and broad, my friend James.
Yes.
And I want to tuck that in
Yes.
for my lady friends who are looking.
Well, the biggest thing with that is that going to be knowing when I do it pretty detailed. And what I say with that is that if you are interested in someone, let them know. We're not 12. We're not 16. We need to act like we're 6 or 7. Pass a note. Hey, I'm interested. And it's one thing that we get caught because we're insecure about something. Most people are, unfortunately, insecure about something. And then if a person comes across, I've been, as we said before, when statement I made about coaching uh, out loud and of course behind the closed doors as being super arrogant. And I know for me, it's not arrogance. It's I know who I am, and I know what I will accept and what I won't accept. And the thing that I've always tell people was that if you get into that particular space, please have grown up skin because I'm the person that's going to tell you that looks ridiculous on you. That's just me. In my car, I'm going to tell you if you when we get to that point, I need to order what you like to have. So I can order it when the person comes to the desk, comes to the table, I should say. The person is going to say, "Okay, I will, meet you here, meet you there." Um, I'm that type of person. It doesn't mean some people call it male chauvinist. I call it being a grown man. Difference, however you look at it. But I just think that it's so important to being straightforward people because life is short. And those, I assume, those he shoulda, she shoulda, is for teenagers. Ask the question, get the answer. The answer that is supposed to be received, not necessarily one that you want to hear, but the answer that is the truth. Because we all learn at some point in life is that the truth is not afraid of a lie, but a lie is afraid of the truth.
So James, what about the actual financial side of coaching? James, can we talk a little bit about the financial side of coaching?
Yes, I think that's one thing that is very important for I have a coach to have a coach. I think that, it's so very important for someone to understand when you start any business, When I tell people any business you start, whether you start today or you start tomorrow, you start today, by Monday, you should have an accountant. You should have a separate CPA. You should have your business cards coming, website getting built or one temporarily built. Because someone told me the other day, they looked at the website and it says the website looks horrible. It's old and it's some outdated information on there. But at the end of the day, my website doesn't draw people. I do. So you have people who have different scenarios or different opinions about that. But my opinion about that sticks with me because of the fact, like I stated before, I ran 80. That is correct in my process. Could it be different? Yeah. Could it be better? Always. So business side about it. Just got to make sure also a business account, not your personal account. And you have to have different forms of making whatever makes sense to you, whether it be PayPal, whether it be Zelle, whether it be Venmo, whether it be directed to you have to have something that you can have be accountable to. And I always tell people starting a business side of any business, every 3 months, your CPA needs in the room, whether you understand it or not, because I guarantee you after 6 months or a year, you will start understanding terms they're using better.
James, I was working with a woman who wants to be a coach, and she was crying this morning, and I really don't like that. And she was crying, and I said, well, what can I do to help you with this? And she said, well, I haven't started my social media yet because I just have all these thoughts and ideas. You're striving for perfection. And I appreciate what you said about your website. I haven't seen it yet. People that are starting new businesses, sometimes the reason they don't start is they want it to be perfect. I love that book. I think it's called 10% Happier. The guy who founded Zappos shoes, he's dead
yes.
now, got hooked on drugs and stuff, but
Yes.
and he was an amazing leader in that he went up, down, right, to the left. He said he didn't know what he was doing when he was trying to get funding. They almost pulled his funding. He bought a warehouse, and then he realized he didn't need a warehouse. He was going to third party it. Well, no, I need the warehouse. And then he moved locations. A business, not be paralyzed with the idea of perfectionism.
Because I always tell people in a sky level conversation, those who handle level, is that finished is better than perfect. What I mean by that is you have to start somewhere. I was bad at that. I admittedly bad at that because my skill set of speaking has always been above average, meaning that I could go somewhere and I could write cat on a sheet of paper and talk for 4 hours. Just it was a gift I had. But my coach had to learn me to write out my speeches. So I so I can was that I could just write out one word on a sheet of paper. And people come back, get done speaking, like, you spoke for, man, for 2 hours, 2.5 hours straight. That was awesome. I didn't see you turn a page. They have a page to turn. I'm just looking at sheet of paper in front of me, and it's my gift. But I had to make sure that I respected my coach's opinion and started to write my speeches out so I can look at them. But I still didn't necessarily turn the page. I make sure I have it so I can record it for later. Try to record them as well too. But everybody wants it perfect, in my opinion, in business, is that somebody is literally dying, waiting for you to show up. So are you responsible or would like to be responsible for somebody literally dying because you're trying to be perfect? Or are you going to show up and you're going to have volume 2, volume 4, volume 5 after you get started? So that's how I clarify that with my client.
Would you be willing to share a mistake that you've made as a coach?
Yes, yes. A mistake that I made early on, I'll say 2.
No,
Early on,
I want something recent, my friend.
recent. Let me see. Recent. Hmm. Recent. Recent.
And then how did you know it was a mistake? I'm interested in when you notice that perhaps you're off track. What do you do?
Oh, yes. Recent, I was coaching a new client actually here, and then they did not get their homework done. Something they were supposed to do to forward their business. So they started to chatting about something else out of the blue. And I let them chat, which I normally don't do it at all. I normally just stop and say, this session's done.